Welcome to the Herd's official YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out the Colin Cowherd podcast, all of our NFL instant reactions, and more football content.
So I have speculated that if Miami keeps losing, they can move Tyreek Hill and get picks. And Chris Greer's been their GM for a long time. Their roster's not good enough. I mean, if the Cowboys can move Micah Parsons, then you know Miami can move Tyreek Hill. And my takeaway is keep your eye on Philadelphia and A.J. Brown. The last 20 games, nobody has run the ball more than Philadelphia. The soul of the offense is Saquon Barkley, the O-line, and Jalen Hurts. I would argue they use tight ends about as effectively as everybody else. So right now, Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts have come out to publicly say, I know he only had one target. We are very proud of A.J. Brown for understanding it was just one of those kooky games where we didn't throw to a wide receiver. But one target, to me, to A.J. Brown feels very much like the Randy Moss, New England, Miami game. It's not about catches. They didn't even target him. So here is A.J. Brown on Sirianni and Jalen Hurts sending him flowers saying, hey, man, we appreciate you understanding you only got one catch.
Oh, I didn't like it. I'm not, honestly. I mean, it's cool to make an example out of it, but I'm not in it for participation trophies. I'm cool. I'm cool on that. I'm not answering. That's a setup question. I'm not answering that. I'm going to be honest about it. I'm not answering that. But I'm going to focus on myself. I'm like my effort and what I do.
So, and just remember, New England needs a number one. New England was slow, sluggish, and deliberate in week one offensively. Mike Vrabel has worked with A.J. Brown, right? And remember, New England's a very young team, right? They're a pretty young team because they're going to, the draft picks are going to play. So they're going to have a lot of young starters. What they don't necessarily need is draft picks. Right? What they need is somebody that can come in and produce. Because that offense, Drake May's young, right? Like young players are going to have a better chance to play for New England than a more established team with star players. So I think A.J. Brown in New England is in play. I think A.J. Brown and Tyreek Hill to Kansas City is in play. Greg Cosell came on earlier and said they just don't have dependable intermediate routes in Kansas City. Well, is that going to change? They didn't have him last year. And Rashee Rice is still 5 weeks away. And Xavier Worthy is now hurt. So and again, if Dallas would give up Micah Parsons right before the season, don't be shocked if A.J. Brown and Nick Sirianni is saying all the right stuff. Nick says, oh, we're gonna get him the ball this week.
There's no secret about it. We always want to get the ball to 6 and 11, and we're always trying to. And so, we'll do an even better job as coaches trying to make sure that happens. But what I do think, and that obviously starts with me, but what I do think that we were on offense was very efficient. The ball was moving forward consistently.
I think what's also very clear is since last year's bye week, nobody has thrown the ball less than the Philadelphia Eagles. So remember, A.J. Brown only had 3 receptions in the Super Bowl against Kansas City. This offense has changed, and they just doubled down on it because they just made a trade for Tank Bigsby, the power running back from Jacksonville. So it tells me that Howie Roseman, and they went and got another receiver right before the season. So it feels like Howie Roseman, who is much more proactive than reactive, and they went and got Dotson last year as the A.J. Brown drama was surfacing in the locker room. So it feels like to me, Howie Roseman, why is he making all these moves in mid-August? And by the way, why did he give up a 5th and a 6th rounder for Tank Bigsby? My first takeaway on that, a 5th and a 6th for a backup running back? Does Howie Roseman believe, because I'm going to get a 5th and a 6th back if I move A.J. Brown or more? That was one of those rare Howie Roseman moves. I'm like, whoa, dude. And I know people who have negotiated with Howie. He likes to win the trade like everybody else. I thought a 5th and a 6th was, by Howie standards, more than gracious. Does he know he's going to get draft picks back? Just a thought.
Colin, can I challenge you a little bit on this?
All right, fine.
So what do you let me just remind you, when the Eagles acquired A.J. Brown, they got a first and it looks like a 4th round pick, 18th overall and 101st overall, and then they had to pay him. And they got to 2 Super Bowls with him. Okay? What's a reasonable expectation if the Patriots called that you think it would take to acquire A.J. Brown?
2nd round pick.
No. What? Come on, man. So the reason that the Eagles offense,
I have to pay him.
Actually, he's under contract. There's an out after 26. So he still has basically 1 year left before you can get off his contract. So you don't definitely have to pay him.
I would give up a 2nd and a 5th.
Okay. So the problem with the Eagles, if you lose A.J. Brown, everybody is just going to play zone defense against you. Right now, you have to play a lot of man.
Time out. I'm going to have 2 excellent backs, the best O-line, a quarterback that runs. They use the tight end as effectively as anybody in the sport. Dotson, Donovan Smith. That is still top 3 in the league in offensive components. Devontae Smith is a 1.
Wait, did you say Dotson? Come on, man. He's not
good.
No, Devontae Smith is a 1? If you mean by like 1, a 100-pound wide receiver, I don't know. He's a solid 2. But I do think A.J. Brown, you can't play man defense against him. He is unstoppable against man because he's so fast and strong.
They don't throw the ball to him. In their last 2 games, 3 receptions in the Super Bowl, 1 target.
Well, the Super Bowl game script, they were up for like 3 touchdowns most of the way. So I get
they
that
don't. Since the bye, they throw the ball fewer times than anybody in the league, including teams with bad quarterbacks.
I'll just say this.
Bigsby's acquisition tells me they want to double down on the run game.
Well, they do. Will Shipley, the backup, who's good, had some kind of rib injury. He's going to be out for a minute. But, Colin, I don't even think they'd be number 2 in the NFC if you trade A.J. Brown. I think they fall significantly. Like, they acquired him, and he was a linchpin to getting to 2 Super Bowls.
If I said 5 really most important Eagles, I would say Saquon 1, Hurts 2, Jalen Carter 3,
Lane Johnson, maybe?
I would say the 2 tackles, 4 and 5. I'm not even considering, and I would argue, he's not a top 5 crucial player for them.
Okay, so hold on. Last year, he missed a game. I think it was the Tampa Bay game. And they had no offense. They got smothered in Tampa. Like, they need A.J. Brown. Without him, they are definitely not elite in the NFC. I don't even know that they're an 11-win team without, maybe not even 10. He is that significant to them. And look what happened when he left Tennessee. They fell off a cliff.
Tennessee didn't have any Saquon Barkley. They didn't have Jalen Hurts. They didn't have that offensive line.
A.J. Brown, I would not.
They didn't have Devontae Smith. So everybody after the Caleb Williams loss on Monday in a pretty bad second half is opining on, well, it's not as bad as you think, or it's absolutely terrible. I tried to be optimistic. I thought he outplayed J.J. McCarthy for the first 2 quarters, absolutely, and maybe the 3rd. He got outplayed in the 4th, the most important quarter, obviously. But the numbers are not playing to Caleb Williams' favor. I'll give you an example of a couple of them. So I read this in Yahoo Sports this morning. In the last year and week 1 of this year, Caleb Williams leads every NFL quarterback with 52 incompletions due to overthrows. So too much horsepower, overthrowing the ball. Next is Bo Nix, Mahomes, Darnold, Justin Herbert, Stafford. Okay, fine, there's overthrows when you have a big arm. But it's the margin. He is so far ahead of even second place. He's 48% higher in 1 year and 1 game than Bo Nix in second. He's also right now worst in the league in the operational stuff. You got to have a good foundation before you build a cool kitchen. Pre-snap penalties, they had 4, 8 offensive penalties. Here's more damning news. A lot of people in Chicago are saying, it might as well just be Justin Fields. No, it's worse. He might as well be Mitch Trubisky. If you go to the first 18 starts of Mitch Trubisky and the first 18 starts of Caleb Williams, it's identical, except Caleb gets sacked significantly more. For the radio audience, Completion percentage is 62 for both. Passing yards, about 210 for both. Total touchdowns, about 22, 23, 24 for both. Passer rating, mid-80s for both. It's not Justin Fields. It's Mitch Trubisky. So, and here's another number that's not good. Positive Colin, it's not working well for me. He completed just 66% of his throws, 14 of 21, on balls 6 yards or less. Jaden Daniels was 11 of 12. So he's missing laps. He leads the league by a long shot in overthrows. He's the worst in the league operationally. And they got him a clever head coach. And they rebuilt the O-line. And they drafted a tight end out of Michigan with their top pick, DJ Moore, 2 other receivers. 5 of their top 6 picks the last 2 years of an offense. The good news, no more Brian Flores for a while. But all the numbers coming out, I'm trying to spin it positively. It's not great. Here was Nick Wright yesterday.
He really struggles with the operation still. And the getting out of the huddle, motioning guys a little too late, like the pre-snap stuff, he still looks like a rookie, and this is year 2. I still believe in Caleb Williams long term, but I think it is going to be a much slower process than I had hoped.
Yeah. I mean, listen, short passes, overthrows, operation, former Bears comp. It's not good. And to make it worse, Detroit just got humiliated in week 1 at Green Bay. And what is our rule on this show? Teams with competent head coaches and quarterbacks that get humiliated almost always have a great week of practice and button most of their problems up. So it's not like you're facing an overconfident Lions team. You're facing a Lions team that is like in crisis mode. So they're going to have an incredible week of practice. And Jared Goff at least has the operational stuff down. Here's J-Mac with the news.
Now,